Hello, everyone. On this quiz, I wish to go over with you making connections. Okay, some of you have a hard time with this quiz and as what to do. Okay, so this quiz, along with quiz number, the other quiz we did before, I think it's quiz number 8. They have focus on ARD. Okay, so we are in the part of studying trigonometry. Then there are a lot of contents in trigonometry. Okay, but if you ask someone or you ask me, what is the most important thing in trigonometry? My answer would be ARD. Okay, what is A? Right? If you listen to the lessons, I assume you did. You know what A is. A is about angle measurement. How angles are measurement. So what are these angles, right? These angles are the input for all 6 functions. Okay, so angle A are the input for all 6 functions. Okay, and these 6 functions are sine, cosecant, cosine, secant, tangent, and cotangent. Okay, how they are defined. So A tells about what kind of angles, what kind of input these angles are. And these angles are measured in certain way. And of course, they're measured from standard position, right? From the positive direction of x-axis. Okay, these 3 items are the most important thing. And how are they related to this quiz we're looking back at, right? Positive direction of x-axis, right? A positive angle is measured counterclockwise. We've been talking about this on every lesson on trigonometry. Then the point that I don't know if you pay attention to it, you must, because this is the centerpiece of this entire trigonometry course content. Okay, and the negative angle are angles measured from the standard position clockwise. Very simple, right? Very simple, consistent. And the ratio, all right, the output, how the output are produced. How the output are produced. Well, the next one is reference angle. Reference angle. Reference angle, the definition of reference angle is a positive acute angle between the terminal and x-axis. Okay, reference angles are not the input. Okay, reference angles is used to assess, is a bridge. It's a bridge. Okay, is a bridge for what? We're gonna explain that. Okay, axis definition. Definition is about how sine A is defined, cosine A defined, tangent A is defined, etc., etc. Okay, so when we define the definition, we say let a point x comma y, right, be a point on the terminal side terminal side of the angle of angle A. Okay, on terminal side of the angle A. What does it mean? It's an A point. A point means any point. A point means any point. Okay, I want you to remember that's any point. So we're going to see from these examples and from these questions how important it is for us to always think of the definition, how definition applies here. That way you always know what the focus should be and you never get confused. Okay, on terminal side of the angle A, right? X, Y, X comma Y is the point on terminal side of the angle. And of course, we use the color term, right? The red is the horizontal for X, and the vertical is the Y. Okay, so in this quiz, that's the that's the point. That's what it means. The terminal is in quadrant 2. This point cannot be other than the origin. Okay, origin is 0, 0. Okay, so 0, 0. What does that mean? It means that X and Y cannot be 0 at the same time. And then we introduce R. Okay, R is X squared plus Y squared. We have 3 numbers as a result of this, assumptions. So look at the question you were given, right? -12, 5, and -12 is the X, right? And the Y is 5. Once you have X, Y, you can find R, right? R is defined that way. And then what are the definition for these ratios, right? So we're going to bring this down. Definition are as follows. Okay, their output R sine of A is equals to Y over R. Okay, cosine A is X over R. And tangent A is Y over X. And cosecant and secant, they're just reciprocals of, the function to the left. Okay, so R over Y, R over X, and X over Y. Okay, so this is ARD. Okay, so now how is that related to our question? This question, you've seen the solution, right? The solution is already posted. So let me show you where the solution is right here. Right here, solution. What did we do with the solution? We find R, and then we go by definition, right? We have X, we have Y, we have R. All the ratios can be found. All the ratio can be found. Now, the last question, which we ask you to know that the terminal crosses, the same terminal cross the unit circle. And what is that point? That point is a cosine A comma sine A. We've seen this, right? We've seen this on unit circles. So now let's look at this, those other quiz we have done before, right? Those other quiz we've done before is this one, quiz number 8, right? Isn't that the same idea? Isn't that the same idea? Right? And you find all of those ratios, right? You found all of those ratios. And for point A, for the alpha, and is sine A is 3 over 5. And the cosine A, just take an example on this one, right? If we go by the same definition, if we go by the same definition, you see the similarity. So all of these are, really just, if you apply definition ARD, they're consistent. They're consistent. They're just examples of applying ARD. Okay. So now you have sine A, and say for this terminal, right? 4,3 is a point on terminal side of the angle other than the origin. And 4,-3 is a point on this terminal, right? We have 4 points here. Just take the 1 point, for example, then you will be able to find sine A, cosine A, tangent A, cosecant. You've done that in the past quizzes. Just make that connection with ARD. Now, the crossing, okay? This point, -12/13, 5/13, is on the unit circle, because if x is -12/13, right? If x equals to -12/13, y is 5/13, x squared plus y squared would be equal to 1. So that tells that this point is on unit circle. Okay, so you can see it is true indeed. So x squared, right? You just do some, mathematics. Squared plus 5/13. What does that equal to? You can pause this video and do your calculation for yourself, right? What do you get? What do we get? You will get -12/13 squared is 144 divided by 169, plus 5 squared over 13 is 25/169. And that sum is 144 plus 25 is 169. And denominator 169, it equals to 1. So this point on the unit circle, for sure, because x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. It is on unit circle, right? So the crossing of this terminal with unit circle is just the cosine value and the sine value. Okay, and this is the same. Okay, so this is the cosine A, comma, sine A. Is this the same for all these others? Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. There is a unit circle. Okay, there's unit circle right here. Okay, so forgive me, I'm going to redraw this. I'm going to make it better. Okay, I'm going to draw a unit circle, right here. And of course, these unit circles are of different size. Okay, let me start over. It's actually not trivial to use this. Wait. Oh, I cannot enlarge it. But anyway, so there's a unit circle. So say, for example, take one of the points, right? Take one of the points. Suppose this is the unit circle for 4,3. What would be you guys have done the quiz, right? Done the quiz. What would be the sine, cosine value? Sorry, we have to clean this up. Okay. We did this for that one, and you just have to do this one for, so here the cosine value is, for this point, is cosine A. Let me write it down. Let me just write it down like this. Okay, cosine cosine alpha. Okay, cosine A equals to, okay, 4/5. You've done this before, 4/5. And sine of A is equals to 3/5, okay? A is an angle that terminates on OA. Okay, so that's what A is. Okay, in the previous quiz it's called alpha. So here I use A just for simplicity. And you can see 4/5, 3/5 is also on unit circle. You can do similar things for just like what we did here, right? 4/5 squared plus 3/5 squared, and that equals to 1. Right, that equals to 1. So all of these points are on a cosine A, cosine A, sine A, they are on the unit circle. So do they have a place on the unit circle? The answer is yes. Do we have a place on the unit circle? So here's the unit circle. So here's the unit circle. -12, 13, 5/13. Does this terminal, does this point have a point? Does this point has a location on the unit circle? Yes, absolutely. It's approximately, it doesn't have to be precise. Okay. It's approximately here. So this point, okay, of course, these two unit circles are, they have different scale, but this point, the heart here, is going to be -12/13, 5/13. Okay, how about the other point, 4/5 and 3/5, right? Yes, it does have a point on the unit circle. It's probably here. Okay, and that point is going to be, so let me put an arrow here. Okay, so that point is going to be 4/5, 3/5. And this point was the point we found from, that point, capital A. Does that make sense? So every terminal, okay, every terminal is drawn from the origin. It will cross different circles. Sometimes it crosses the circle with radius 13. And we can pick any point on terminal side of the angle. Anytime, as long as it is not the origin, we will get the same ratio for sine and cosine. And cosine comma sine is always sitting on the unit circle. I hope I made myself clear. Okay, so on this unit circle, even though, okay, some of the points that we did is not marked, but they are there. You just have to look closer. They're not marked. So this unit circle is not just for special angles. It is also for non-special angles, okay? You can also identify points that, for the B, for the C, for the D. Okay, so they all have a place on the unit circle. Okay, so when you watch the lesson, why unit circle? Watch that lesson again. It explains that it doesn't matter what point you choose on the terminal side of the angle other than the origin, you will end up with the same cosine value and sine value, no matter what, as long as the point is chosen. So now let's go back to read ARD once more. ARD, okay? So all of these are examples. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, bring this up. I'm gonna bring it next to the ARD. Okay, I'm just making it a little smaller. And this piece I'm gonna bring it next to it. And this recent one we just did. Okay. Make it a little smaller. So ARD is shown. Okay, so what do we see? If you look at ARD now, I'll make it a little bit larger. If you look at ARD now, A is the angle measured. You know, we have talked about how to measure the angles as input for sine, cosine, secant, cosecant, tangent, cotangent, right? X comma Y, this point is on terminal side of the angle other than the origin. And all of these points, okay, these points, each one of them is a point, is an example of a point on terminal side of the angle other than the origin, including all of these, you know, points on the unit circle, not on the unit circle, not on the unit circle. They are all united under same concept, the same definition. So the same definition, ARD, is the center of the entire discussion on trigonometry. I wish you to see that. Okay, once you keep your focus on ARD, then you will see that all the questions you're going to see in this life on trigonometry is either ARD or either A to D or D to A. That's all the questions you will ever see this life is either A to D or D to A. If you keep that focus, no question in trigonometry is difficult for you because you see so clearly about the nature of these trig questions. Okay, so I recommend you guys to go back to re-study these lessons. Y unit circle. Okay, there are two sessions of Y unit circle. You apply ARD to special angles, and you got a quiz on number 8. Applied ARD to non-special, and this time you got quiz number 13, which is also a non-special angle. And you can see they're all united by ARD. And they're just the same, it's just one question. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching. Until next time.